All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is WBIS LP 106.9. I am your co-host, Vernon Garrison, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Life with Nada Manning. I almost took her job for a moment by saying I was the host, but now it takes the most to be the host on this show.
That's all right.
But with that being said, season greetings, Merry Christmas. We just want to say thank you for joining us. And we also want to invite you to look at this show on various platforms. And you can find us on GPAT 23, YouTube, Facebook, and also Awesome Radio, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, when you go on YouTube, I'd like for you to like, share, subscribe to the channel. In fact, you can download Awesome Radio app on your device and listen to us 24 hours, 7 days a week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get the show on the road. And we'd like to welcome our teacher of Let's Talk Real Life with Nada Manning. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nada Manning.
Hello, everyone. We are back to share some more wonderful news with you. We're continuing with Head to Toe that we were talking about last week. I ran out of time, and my co-host just went on and shut us down. So I want to pick up from where we left off last time. There's some pertinent information that I wanted to share, and I wanted to go on and start there. Head to toe. Head to toe, folks. Head to toe. I'm not going to go back but so far on it, but there were a couple of things that I want to mention, and one of them under the inward appearance. We talked about inward appearance and outward appearance. Now we're talking about the inward appearance, continuing with it by saying behavior. Behavior is an inward, inward opinion, inward appearance. And in that, we can come to a lot of decisions. We have attitude, we have mood swings, we have all kind of stuff going on that sometimes does not set very well with certain folk. Last time we talked about our speech, how we talk to people, how it comes out of our mouth one way when we really mean it another. That's inward. And the outward appearance of that is the fact that whoever is listening, whoever heard that tone or that voice outwardly, was able to come to a conclusion about what was said. Inward appearance, we want to be careful with that. Live as we were taught. That's behavior. We are to live as we were taught. Now, that have a different connotation to it as well. Sometimes we are not taught the right things, and that was part of this head to toe we were talking about last time. Many times, we as parents, guardians, counselors, teachers, leaders of sorts kind of give the wrong impression when it comes to teaching our youth or whoever it is that's under us. If we are a leader, we have subordinates that's under us in a work environment. We want to be careful how we portray our leadership skills. That behavior as a leader, sometimes, and that's why they send us to school so much, I guess, so we can learn better skills, because sometimes we're not taught the things that should be taught. Some people say they don't know right from wrong in some cases. And I cannot knock that because everybody don't know everything. Okay. Everybody don't always get it right. Sometimes we teach what we know best. And what we know best might not necessarily be the right thing, but that's all we know. Coming to the parents. Some parents are not taught parenting skills from their parents. So it falls short when it comes to raising their own children. And that's where we are with this behavior because we were talking about head to toe and the example that I was giving with the kids and how they're running rapid and running out of control. And we narrowed it down last week. The bottom line is, and I agree, with Coach when he was saying it's on the parents. It's on the parents. But like we were just saying, many times those parents don't know any better. So it comes from their parents. So where does it stop? Or where does it start with the children as parents? Somewhere along the line, we should pick up a better way of parenting if we see that our way is not working. Because one parent's way of dealing with a child might not work on the next child. Because why? We are all different, even children. Every one of them are different. And you can talk to a child sometime in the school system, for example. The teachers and counselors can talk to one child about a behavior, and then another child come by and exemplify the same behavior, but they don't take it the same. Sometimes the child go rampant and raging and cutting up and cursing and all this kind of stuff. And another child under the same predicament is calm about it, quiet, respectful. And then you have the child that's not so respectful. What does that tell you? They are raised in two different environments. And whoever is heading that environment is responsible for that child's behavior. Right or wrong, that's the way it is. That's the way I see it. The child don't come in the world knowing what to say and what to do automatically. They're being taught. They're being taught how to use a gun. They don't come in this world knowing how to pull a pistol out and shoot it and pull a trigger. How they know that? I know they're smart now. Electronically, yes, they are technical savvy in a lot of areas. They outdo me and a lot of other adults. They're quick to pick it up, whatever it is they need to learn. So why can't they learn the behavior skills the way they should, the way they're learning these technical skills? Why can't they pick up the same? I mean, if you're smart and quick to learn, maybe not learn in every area as quick as others, but you have the ability. You have the know-how. You have the drive. You have the intelligence that it needs to pick it up and go on with it, whether it's negative or positive. But in today's society, it's more negative. To me, seem like, and maybe I'm wrong, it seems like it's more negative being taught to these children than it is positive. That's what I see. I was listening to a grandma this morning, and I want to read to you what she was saying about these kids. I thought it was so pertinent. It says the wrong thing is being taught. The regulations, okay. It's a shame, or it's too bad that the wrong thing is through these regulations is bringing out the bad in our children. Okay. Rights, they're taking away our rights because when they made the parent afraid to discipline the children, then what happened? We found out the teachers were afraid of the principal. The principal was afraid of the superintendent. The superintendent was afraid of the school board. The school board was scared of the parents. The parents were scared of the children. And the children are not afraid of anything. They are scared with nobody. They're not afraid of nobody. Nobody. They have the upper hand, seem like. That's what I'm thinking from this. The children have the upper hand. If you have this trend of hierarchy, and every different ones are afraid of the next level above them, when it trickles on down to the parent and the child, the parent is afraid of the child, and the children know this. So that tells what to these children? They can do what they want to do because nobody's going to do anything to them and nobody's going to do anything about it. So they do what they want to do and they get out of control. That is not a good thing. But it started back in the 60s or 70s or whenever it was that they took, number one, they took prayer out of the school system. They had prayer when I was going to school, by the way. Yeah, back then. And I don't know what year, maybe the 60s or something, they started to take the prayers out of the school system. Anyway, then in the 70s, they decided that the parents cannot discipline their child. I'm like, really? And the children come home and they say this to the parents. Why? Because mine said it. Mama, you can't hit me no more. You can't beat me no more. You can't do nothing to me. Really? And that's when it started. Because children talk. Oh man, that means that the sky's open now. Whoa, wow. What? That means I can go out there and hit somebody, hurt somebody, steal something. Nobody gonna do nothing to me. That's what it planted in their brain. We talking head to toe, folks. Head to toe. And the children are running away with it. Still to this day. And that was back, what, 30, 40 years ago. And they still thinking the same thing today. And it's worse. Because why? Like I just read to you, the different levels, they are afraid of the next level, and then it trickles down to the children. And hey, they're not scared of nothing. And it shows. We can see it. It's all over society. They're not scared of anything. Because they really believe nobody's going to do anything to them. So that's why they keep doing it.
I'm going to say this, and this kind of help make my point. You cannot implement corporal punishment now with the children of the day, even if you wanted to, on a broad scale, where it will make a difference in the group, in the classroom, in a school, in a community. You cannot, because most children that I knew was afraid of their parents, their mom, or I'm gonna get a whoop when I get home. Or you can't go back now and implement corporal punishment. I'm gonna get a paddling in class first, or the teacher will pull my hand back and hit it with a ruler. You can't go back and do that now, because now listen to my transition here. We all want to, I'm gonna transition now. We can't go back and do that now because we're looking for a better mousetrap. We were looking for a better way to run society. We were looking for a better way to preach the gospel, a larger church, a larger city, advancement in life, technology, a better mousetrap, a pathway to outer space. Society is driven, and after the information technologies age started in the late 70s, mid 70s, picking up speed. That's what America was doing. It was driving, looking for something. And now the 80s, Generation X, we were the last ones to really start to be able to play outside, to be able to get nature, to be able to do a lot of things. And we were probably the last ones to experience corporal punishment, to get a paddling at school from the teacher or the principal. See, so now for you, and here's my conclusion to my point. If you went back and you just beat a child now, you notice how that word beat sounds like abuse or Rodney King incident. Now, when you say beat, it sounds like a fight between you and your child.
But beat back in your day and my day didn't mean the same thing. It means a different thing.
It didn't mean the same thing. That's right.
Right.
Just the way I said it. So you can't.
They've taken it to a different level. Beat, that word beat, is taken to a different level now, where it's just cruel and unusual punishment. It's just mean, and that's not the way it was taken back in the day.
And here's my point. The kids are not the same now. So you can't implement corporal punishment when they're not. It's like we got Microsoft software in this computer. It's not going to go pick up another software and run it up here. I'm not going to take, let's say we on Facebook, Messenger works with Facebook, but I'm not going to be able to take MySpace, which was an old platform back in the day, one of the original platforms, and run it with Facebook. It's not going to work. So
why aren't the children the same today?
Because we changed, I just said it. We changed our philosophy. Remember, the adults are driving the car. So when we get this, my voice is going up. I'm sorry, y'all. When we get distracted and we get pointed going in a certain way, then we drag our kids along. We trying to make a better life for ourselves. Either marriage is important or it's not. And as we see, the results of the nucleus family have changed. Children aren't that important anymore because we stopped having so many of them. Whites are now only having 1 to 2 children, where they used to have 6 or 7. They had these big houses with 10 rooms in it. Black folk having 3 children now. Hispanics, Black folks, African Americans, American Africans having 2 to 3. This is results from last year study. Latinos and Americans having 3 to 5. Latin American people having 3 to 5 children. So look at what's important. So children are not that important anymore. So nurturing and discipline means something totally different. The children have more knowledge now, so they know their rights. Like you said, your children came home and says, you can't beat us no more. A child is a commodity, and it means something different, and it's not something that you beat on. It's something that you nourish and you teach, and you give them as many privileges as you can.
Okay, I am not knocking what you're saying. However, I want to add something to that.
Go
When
ahead.
you're saying children are a commodity, in the sense of today, my commodity, and with the way I see it, a commodity to the parents is more money. Because the more children you have, I'm talking about the socialites,
Yeah.
if you will. The more children you have, the more money you can get. So that's a commodity to me. It's not a very good way of having children because those are the ones that are struggling so because the focus is on the wrong thing. I agree with you. The focus is not on raising the children with that particular group. It's not, to me, it's not on raising those children like they should be raised. And that's why they come to school like they are. And their behavior skills are running crazy. And they're able to come out of their mouth with all kinds of words because that's what they hear at home. So either way you put it, it refers right back to the home environment or the community around the home. I'll put it that way.
Well, if you take, and so I looked at that point that I was just making there. These children, if I wanted to, I started spanking my child, and he was born in '93. So I spanked him till he was about 8 or 9. But then after that, I quit because
Okay.
things were changing around him and it's not popular. Now, what I mean is not just the outside world changed, the inside world changed. And so if you beat a child now, they won't understand that it's discipline and it's really filled with love. And I'm saving their life. I'm
Right.
training them to come in on time, the curfew. Don't smoke that. Don't drink that. Don't touch her. Don't touch him. You can't sleep there. You can sleep here. They won't put that in the same category. And so if you do it, you're wrong.
So what do you do?
Well, you have to go with the disciplinary fashion that's in place now. You have to do that. And now that's, I would say, curfews, restrictions, suspensions, withdrawing, setting a child outside of an environment that he wants to be in or she wants to be in, taking away something they love. Now, that is a conflict because a child in a family, they set their own discipline. Well, one family could be very tolerant to what a child does. And so they can let this child grow up breaking the rules. Johnny,
Right.
you can't do that. Mary, you
Right.
can't do that.
And
Well, it
there
ain't
you go.
Johnny no more.
And there you go with the influence. Because Johnny, you can't do that anymore. Meanwhile, Johnny number 3 and 2, 3, 4 houses down, they can do everything they want to do, but this one over here cannot do. So then you have a conflict. Then we have that influence that we were talking about last week. When
Yeah.
you're influencing each other like that.
Then when that one down the street that has a broad a broad opportunity to do whatever they want. Then when they get touched by a police officer or a jailer, and they figure that somebody else can touch their body, they just wasn't used to it, then that's a traumatic situation. I've seen a lot of young students, teenagers, go to jail during Halloween right here in this community because they celebrate underage drinking and also young age drinking. So when they realize that a police officer can touch them, they're traumatized. Oh my God, I'm in jail.
So
So
what
you
does the
go get
parent
it.
do? What does the parent do?
The ones who are very liberal in discipline, they continue that same trail with uh, with Mike. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. This is what happens when this happens. Now, here is one thing I'm about to tell you, and I researched it with my own eyes. And now you're talking about race here in a positive way.
Talk about what?
Why would race, culture,
Race.
yeah, black and white. Let's go black and white in this country because I know a little bit of information here. I'm gonna make it short. It has been determined psychologically through studies that the discipline, the way we discipline in the black community, was not as effective as it was traumatic in a lot of situations. Because now here's the factors that go into this. You and I might have came out okay. There were a lot of kids that were just flat beat up by their parents.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot that got disciplined with a switch, and we knew why we were getting hit. So I wasn't traumatized. But in
Right.
the overall science of it all, they were saying let's say if you beat a child, you call a child dressing up as a girl, cross dressing. You done took them to the pastor, they done put oil all on the child. You beat the child because you caught the child with some girl shoes on or playing with a doll baby. A little boy, let's say a little boy. That was definitely the research that came out about 5 years about that was not effective. Those kids that were uh, muted in with ways of discipline still turned out to be gay. In fact, they did studies, they said that made them want to be gay even more. I just use that to say that the discipline has to match the mentality. And so you asked me a moment ago, what do the parents do? You have programmed the children. You can't just take a software out and just go get rid of it like a child is a computer. So you're going to
Right.
keep on nourishing what's good in that child. And we do say in the African American community, I can't remember the stats, but a young black child has heard the word no so many times that it affect our psyche. Stop doing that, boy. No, you can't do this. No, you can't. Then when the child start to sing and making noise, shut up. I don't want to hear that noise. I'm just saying that not all the times you tell a child to shut up is negative, okay? But we have heard no too many times.
Yeah.
Whereas the white child is, it's okay, we're gonna do this again, and then they're getting more correction. So discipline has to be correction, and it has to have an objective. And so all that to say, it won't work now because the children's minds and the way society is been different. Yes, they need it, and when they get it, I've laid my hands on many children down in that jail. But as soon as I put my hands on them, they start to melt. They ain't as tough as they acted like with that mouth, because they don't never had anybody touch them like that. Now they've had people hit them. A lot of have had people hit them, and there is a difference when you curse a child in their soul, or when you tell them that, boy, you just like your daddy. You sorry. You ain't never gonna be nothing. You need to stop doing this. Even when you correct the child, you have to do it nowadays because kids are smart. Way more information than I had when I was 8 years old. When
Right.
you speak into a child's life in a harsh way, you cool believe you're reprogramming them. So kids ain't built like they was with me. My mama could pop me I could say something smart, and next thing you know, my lips stinging. I can feel it right now today. I didn't want to call DSS. Do it right now and see what happens. The parent that saw you hit your child in the mouth probably called DSS on you, because we don't do that no more. It's over.
Okay, so saying all that to say, I don't disagree with you at all. My concern is, what is the remedy? How do we fix this problem? Because something needs to be done, and it needs to be done yesterday, because it's not getting any better. I agree with what you said about the discipline part. I said it earlier. Every child is different. You can't do with one like you can do with another, because they're two different individuals. One might understand and the other one don't get it. And since they don't get it, they keep repeating whatever it was that they were doing. So yes, it's the responsibility of the parent to um, talk to the child and explain to them whatever it is that's going on and what they did wrong. The second point I wanted to bring out is distractions. Um, we children, any person, adults, all of us, need to try to avoid being distracted as much as possible. Again, we're talking about inward appearance. Some of us are easily persuaded, which goes back to some of the things you just said with the playmate down the street. You got your neighbors, and even as adults, we can be easily distracted when we see adults doing some things to their home, and everybody else's home is kind of like not doing much to it, and we get distracted because, wow, well, now and these are adults. So what we want to do is not be so. This is inward behavior now. Inward behavior, what we're thinking and what we're feeling on the inside, might not always be portrayed on the outside. But inwardly, we're thinking to ourselves, wow, they really got it going on over there. So we develop a distraction from what? I don't know why it's going to be a distraction. Well, then again, yes, I do. But the point is, we don't want to be distracted with our inward behaviors, because it causes problems. The appearance on the inside of us. We build up anger, we build up jealousy, we build up all kind of bitterness. Why? And that's with any age. I just said the adults and the neighbors because that's what the adults are about, as opposed to children. It can be the same thing with the children. What we as parents want to do is try to instill in our children, as they grow older, the downside of being bitter and nasty and being so distracted from things that you can do better yourself, but they need to be taught that. Then we have what? Trying not to live to please others. You live to please others. Many of us do that, trying to please everybody else but ourselves. Now, that can be taken out of context. When we please others, sometimes it can be a good thing because you're trying to help them. Sometimes. It depends on how you look at it. Sometimes it's a help. And then other times it can be negative because you're neglecting yourself, your whole being, because you like what they're doing over there. Again, to me, that's a form of distraction. But you're trying to please other people. You're trying to give them what they want. And that's okay. It's all right. It's a blessing to give. Don't misunderstand me. It is a blessing to give, but we have to keep it in the proper context. Don't live to please others. You don't live to please them, but you do it while you're living, if that makes any sense. If your whole purpose is living to please other people, then you're not going to have a life of your own, because you're so busy trying to do somebody else's life, trying to make them happy all the time. Sometimes it's great. At times, it can be many times it's great, but not all the time. Trying to please others.
You know what I read this morning?
What's that?
Since you're talking about people pleasing thing, and I'm guilty of that. I what have been. Do you know there was this guy that wrote this post, and the lady was talking about Genesis and the marriage and stuff like that. And by the way, thank you for that Bible story app. I started getting into that. That's pretty nice. I like it.
Which one was
And
that?
so right now,
Which one was that? I
the
sent you a couple.
Bible study app. Well, one of them you gave me. I don't remember but one. So if there was two, I don't know which one it is. But thank you.
You're
Like
welcome.
you ready to jump off, Charles? Like I wanted to say thank you several
Well, it was
times.
all about helping. We're still talking about helping. We still
Well, you
talking
did
about,
it.
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You did it. Thank you. So look, he said I was idolizing my wife before God, and when I realized that that was wrong, he said she got mad.
Because you stopped idolizing her as much.
That's what this guy said. He said I was pretty much had my wife before God. I had never heard that in a sentence before.
Well, did
Now,
you?
I can see very, very well how that happened. And if
And
you
it's
sit, go ahead.
and it's not uncommon.
And if, because see, I'm a male. So now looking at the social construct of men, if we're going to try to be successful at anything, a lot of things that we are challenged to, a job or sports or whatever hobbies we have, we're trying to, find a position and status in life in those areas in the community. But we want to try to find the status with women so that we can follow the social construct of getting married. But while you're doing that, I had never heard anybody say they fell in the trap of worshiping their wife, but or having their wife in a position ahead of God. So I see how that happened because that's the trail that men that's the trophy that men want. Well, most men want, I guess. So if a woman sits there and soaks up all of that glory and see that man on his hands and knees scraping and struggling and trying to please her, and I'm gonna say God in the context of not necessarily building a family, building this or doing that or serving God or kingdom of God. She can sit there and soak up all of that she can out of this guy. It will deplete him. It will take the testosterone, the masculinity. It will dry this guy out. So when I read that, let me look at the time. Where we at? 35, 30. Okay. When I read that this morning, I'm like, wow, what a platform. And if I could go back and find it, I could give him credit for just phrasing that. Because, be honest with you, a lot of women act that way. That the man is a commodity. And that's it's a little scary to think that a lot of women want to be worshipped rather than just loved, or they got the two mixed up. But I know the man can get it mixed up. I remember first getting married, it was all about my wife. It was all about my family. It was all about what they wanted. Was
Pleasing
it
them.
all about what I wanted? Now I can
Pleasing,
look back. When was it what about what I wanted?
pleasing them.
So what now?
Pleasing them. It was all about pleasing them.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I saw it.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So, anyways, I wasn't trying to throw no shade on any woman that's doing that, but if you're not a Christian or any other type of religion that has a philosophy about the status of women and men, then that's the only thing you got to do is worship each other. If you don't worship God, so it
And
might
I
be
was going to
right in a
say,
sense.
and I was going to say, in light of everything you just said, generally speaking, not all the time, but generally speaking, when you find couples that are like that, where the wife or the man, one or the other, is being worshiped above God, then I would say that there's not much God in that relationship to begin with. That's what I would say. Now, that's my opinion. That don't make it right. But if you have God in your life and you are Christ driven, yes, you're gonna slip sometime. I'm not gonna knock that. And want to do things, and you should do things for each other. But it should not become your God. And that's what I hear you saying. That partner became your God. That's what you were hearing. And that's not the first time I've heard that before. Um, but that does not mean that's the way it should be. And if those one or the other, sometimes it can be more of Christ than the other. But whichever one carries the most concerns and trying to live for Christ is the one that's supposed to carry the other towards Christ more. So that all of that favoritism and that people pleasing thing can kind of slack up a little bit, where you have to have some Christ in the center to start with. But those that are not of
I'm gonna
Christ,
say this one thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this one thing, and this is gonna put it in context. And I'm gonna use the woman as an example. I can hear that voice right now, and I've heard it. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
Okay.
Who in the world says life gonna make you happy all the time? Or that you have to be happy when you gotta fix something? That it's gonna be exciting when you deal with a hard issue. But that means you're looking for that person to make you happy. And if you're looking for that person to make you happy, then they're only going to succeed if you allow yourself to be happy and you have gratitude and you're thankful and you all those other things that can help you during hard times. Because you might be in pain, you might be sick, you might be upset, you might have lost your job. And then you're looking at me to make you happy in spite of all of that. Then I can't do that every time you ask me to. It's impossible. The door has to be open. The atmosphere has to be right for you to be happy. And it starts before you get yourself in trouble or before trouble shows up. That's where a foundation of thankfulness and gratitude and excitement can residually make you happy, because you know you've seen better days and better days are coming. But right now you hurt, you broke, you lost your job, you found your husband cheating, your son's daughter fell in their grave. I'm not happy. Those two don't go together. You're not supposed to be having them feelings 24 hours a day. What are you on, oxycodone or something? Unless you're smoking crack, and crack addicts can't even stay high and happy that long. People got the wrong perception on happy. And if you start, I'm gonna say this one thing to a husband, to a wife, if y'all start pleasing each other through things, cars, money, trips, if that's the main thing that makes you happy, then boy, you're gonna see a bad day when you ain't got nothing left but love, or you don't have love at all. And love ain't always gonna be there. You're just gonna have to be content with that person if you're not happy. I done stepped into a whole new show. I'm sorry. I just heard that. I'm not happy. My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, can I speak now?
I apologize. You got the rest of the show. Oh, we got a special coming up. Miss Nada's gonna sing Silent Night, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
We have a song coming up, folks, but Miss Nada is not singing it. You're going to hear it. It's a Christmas thing, and we want to allow about 3 or 4 minutes to do that. And right now, I believe we're at 41 minutes. So we have about 8 minutes left, Coach?
Oh,
I'm asking.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Something like that. Yes.
Okay. You still hung up on that not happy thing? Have you come down from that being unhappy? Huh?
Yeah, I'm coming down. Okay, that was my trigger right there. I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm coming down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Deep breath.
Woo!
Deep breath.
I tell you. Anyway, we want to play this song for you folks for this Christmas holiday that we are about to approach. I believe we've come to the end of this session. Behavior, living as we were taught. Don't live to please others. Don't be distracted and under the influence. I talked about that a little bit ago about being under the influence of others, not necessarily paraphernalia, but I mean other behaviors. You want to be your own person, and if you don't know how to do that, then you might want to consider talking to someone to help you out.
Yeah.
So before the music come on, I want to pray. Lord, thank you for this time. Thank you for this holiday season that we are in. Be with us, Lord, and carry us through as we continue to look to you for all of our help, Lord. We just know that you are the one to do it from head to toe. You made us, and we are dependent on you. In Jesus' name, amen. So now listen to the song from the Temptations, Silent Night. And here we are. Merry Christmas, everybody.
I'm a lip sync. Now, everybody, y'all can sing with us. Come on, y'all. Bring it in. Yeah. In my mind.
Got to bring it up.
Merry Christmas to all of you. Silent night. Sing it, y'all. Holy night. All is gone. And all is well. Round young virgins, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild. Everybody, come on, let's sleep. Sleep in heaven. Sleep in heaven, heavenly peace. There we go. Everybody together. That last ooh.
Okay.
Well, we got time left.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes left. It didn't play as well though as it did when we started out. It kept chopping up and all of that. Now I think we got about 5 minutes left.
Oh, really? I just put it on the background and on the replay.
Okay, well, let it play louder.
Well, I was gonna finish talking if you said it wasn't working right. Lord, she's trying to DJ. Bless your heart. All right, God. Well, I was gonna say, we got another week that they will hear from us, but I was just to say it's been a beautiful year. And now Christmas is the reason for the season. And if you worship Christ, you accept him into your heart, you feel like you got another address to go to when we leave Earth, then that's the objective. And that's the goal. So that's what Christmas is to me. All the gifts and the toys. I mean, I share everything I got anyway. So if you haven't received a gift from me physically and spiritually, I probably have prayed for you, or your thought and your best interest is in my heart. So that's my gift to you. I wrap my arms around everybody that's watching and give you a big old hug.
All right. Well, I think it's just wonderful. Yes, we have had a beautiful year, and I thank God for every week. With all of
Yeah.
the technological issues that we've had, we have managed to muster through them with the Lord's help, and I am just very grateful. Coach has been a wonderful co-host. He has been just marvelous. He has been a blessing to help carry this show to where it is today. And I really, really appreciate him. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And all of you listeners out there, amen. All of you listeners out there, just know he acting silly right now. But just know, all of you listeners out there, you are appreciated also. We love you, we care about
Yes.
you, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas. And if you don't tune in, may that be a happy, happy new year for you and a very prosperous one. And know that God loves you, and so do we. So please tune in with us again. We enjoy you, and please also just write in and just call in or something and just let us know what you think, how this year has been for you. And share your testimony if you got one. It's all good.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk real life. I am your host, Nada Manning, and I believe we are about to sign off. So I'm going to say, God bless you all until we see one another or till we hear from one another or you hear my mouth or Coach Garrison's mouth on this Let's Talk Real Life show. Happy New Year. God bless you. And Merry Christmas. Be safe. All of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, WBISLP 106.9 on your FM dial. We love you guys and pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful. How many times am I going to say wonderful in like 15 seconds?
Not too many. Just take care of yourselves and be careful and be safe. That's what. How about
Yep,
that?
there you go. That
All right.
still didn't do it. We still got
All
another
right.
I love you left. All
I
right,
love
guys.
you.
There you go. Boom.